And action!
And we're back.
No, we're not, because that hasn't started
Oh,
yet.
yeah, you're right.
We're not starting. Girls,
False
I have a
alarm.
confession.
No,
Yeah.
her.
I for some I didn't hit record or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Seriously. Well, it's not
Well, let's pop them. Let's pop them. Let's pop them.
Oh, I should record us popping them. I'll do you because we haven't got any footage of you.
Ready?
It's okay. Ooh.
It was almost
Mind
in
you,
unison.
that's right.
Ooh.
I love those. This is really, really good. These
I
are
will-
both- I think they're two of the best now.
They're so yummy.
Yeah,
They're new.
that's yummy.
All right. I'm gonna do a little. Just take it up.
I just feel like I need to say a prayer because I like my brain doesn't feel engaged to my brain. So we shall see how she goes. But so
Rachel.
Oh,
Rachel,
sorry. Gosh, I look so freaking fat.
Oh my! Stop saying that.
No,
I do.
you don't.
I do. Okay.
The camera adds 30 pounds supposedly.
Yeah, the camera's a liar.
Actually, it's 10, but still, that's a lot.
All right, breathe through it. You're fine.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I have been in a downward spiral. I did something on Sunday, and it was.
She did something.
I did something on Sunday, and the guy who I was with, who I didn't even know I was going to be singing with, but oops, okay, so I sang. And I said something or other. I was like, "Oh, I'm an old dog," and I was trying to futz with some of this technology that I needed. And he doesn't even know me very well, but he was just like, "Stop saying that. You're not an old
Go
dog."
like this. You have seltzer on your chin.
Oh yeah, I felt it.
It's glittering. It's like hitting.
Glittering?
It's glittering in the moonlight.
Help me, everyone. I need my team.
Okay.
I need a team.
You need your team. All right.
But so this is an ongoing on hoarding and decluttering and
I'm excited.
simplifying and all the things. This is
It's real.
part 3 out of it's. I have no end in sight. So I don't know what this is. I'm writing a book at the same time, which is kind of fun. So but when we last left,
Our heroes.
we knew that we were hoarders officially. It was
Okay.
official. And so the next thing that I want to talk about is kind of part of that. It's not, I wanted to go into what to do next, but I think I'm going to land a little bit in the realm of just in case.
Ooh.
The just in case.
Can I say?
Yeah.
While the boys have been playing this weekend, I deep cleaned and chucked London's room, 3 bags of trash, 4 bags to Goodwill. Caden's room, 4 bags of trash.
Oh my
Let me
gosh.
tell you.
I don't even understand.
Just
What was
like
in there?
boxes. He had an eBay
Oh.
business for a while. He kind of got out of it. So I organized and chucked all the stuff that was kind of a little rippy, a little crappy, a little whatever. He'll either rise up and call me blessed or he'll be ticked. But anyways, hoarding. So I was just like,
Yeah.
you know, it
You
just
did
came
all
up.
their rooms?
Well, I did two of the 4 rooms,
Yeah.
the 2 that needed it. Like
Yeah.
deep clean, deep
Mhm.
declutter.
There's something in the air. Let me.
Oh, that's
so
good.
The same day you were doing that, that was yesterday, but I was doing laundry, but then went to put something away in my linen cupboard, which is also like we don't have a bathroom that has any storage in it, so all of our bathroom storage lives in this hall closet, and then traveling things, stuff, toiletries and things, and I just it was a full stop into what I was doing because I was like, gah. And I went and did a culling
Yes,
of
I've
the
been culling a lot,
closet because it just had to happen. Like I had to stop what I was doing and do this first because I could feel it. Sometimes there's a feeling in
You
the
feel like
air.
you're suffocating. Even
Yeah.
if there's nothing there, you feel like
Or you're just like, that's it. The line has been crossed. I have to do something. I have to do something now. So I'm going to. And I have the energy, the time. I need it. I
I have to wait for it to come. It's always simmering.
Oh,
It's under the
totally.
surface, and I'm like, it's coming. Postal Mama's coming.
Yes.
But I don't do it until it hits me. And then last night was 10 o'clock at night. I was like, it's here. She's here.
It's
She's
there.
here.
She's here. Let's go.
It is. It's a stars aligning
Yep.
thing. It's an energy thing. It's a mental clarity thing. It's a just sheer.
It's my
the
favorite
time
thing.
that
I
we
wish we could
have.
harness. If we could bottle that,
I love
we
throwing
would be
things away.
millionaires. Because I love that, but it's the
Oh, the energy that comes.
It
Yeah.
has to rise up.
Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Primal.
It is primal.
It's
Primal.
true,
It
yeah.
comes deep
Yeah.
within me, and I'm like,
It's
it's
like
all
childbirth.
going.
Mine comes
There's
with
a
a warning
roar.
usually. The boys do get warnings. That they, just so you know.
Did you
she's-
text Kaden and say,
No.
beware?
He's gonna be surprised. But I'll say something. It's festering. It's festering, guys.
It's building. It's building.
Postal Pam's coming.
Postal Pam.
Postal Pamela.
Yeah, so this is a good time of year to go postal on your house in all the ways. There's we always have piles. As soon as we give the piles to the thrift shop or to wherever, another pile seems to hatch in the same place, and
Hatch.
it grows and it grows, and then it gets crazy, and then it was that. But this, what I'm talking about today, is the opposite of that. The opposite of cleaning things out. I'm gonna move this candle. I feel worried about it's gonna light. It's gonna light my paper on fire. This is a list that I came up with that are synonyms or synonym ideas. I don't really know what the correct grammar of that is, but
Okay.
I couldn't care any less.
I couldn't care anymore.
I could not care any less. For all the nerds out there,
Amy, let's have a house.
dang it, you're correct. I lost them already.
Sorry. No,
Give it.
she's just like,
No,
pulling
carry
out
on.
bags
No,
upon
now I'm
bags.
interested.
No, I'm just looking for something. Carry
Oh, you
on.
have
okay.
two of the same bag.
Because I got it. I got medicine.
Lots
One.
of those.
Yeah. Just
I
carry
need
on.
one. Okay.
All right,
Find something.
just in case.
Ooh, just in case. I love it.
Yeah, Amy's lost in her purse.
I'm not- I'm
at the
totally
moment.
focused.
This is
and
the
listening.
third bag. Speak about hoarding. Like she
This
is.
is a highly organized purse of all of the things of everything that I need.
And that's why you knew exactly where.
Out
I
of the
just didn't know
third
which
Are
bag.
you doing
one
your
it was.
nails right now?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, all right. I'm receiving this.
You're gonna
For the fourth time, just in case. Maybe I will want to do my nails during a podcast. Someday I
Why not?
might. What if?
I did.
But I might need it.
That's Peter.
There's no more like it.
Oh,
Oh.
that one hits a little deep.
It was really expensive.
Mm.
It was free.
Oh,
That's Amy.
It's always been there.
oh no.
No, I don't problem with that one.
I worked with so many people who had this as a response.
Can I tell you
Can you
mine?
read them again?
Yeah, I
I'm
want
gonna
to tell
see
you
how many are me.
For a
Yeah.
fifth time? Okay.
Say check.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's
If it's you.
go back. Okay, yeah.
Go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, go start over. Because I think you good introduction. A
Yeah.
plus plus. Now I wanna let it
Oh,
simmer
I
in
love
my
it. I'll
brain.
take
Okay.
as much
Assist.
time
Yeah.
as you guys want. If I don't even make it through this today, I'm happy.
Okay,
because
'cause
I'm
I want-
thinking. I'm in context of yard sales.
Yeah,
Sure.
'Cause
Yeah.
I love yard sales.
Of
I
course.
know. Okay, so
Who doesn't?
start up at the top.
Okay.
I have a chair that I just picked up at a yard sale yesterday that Henry forbade me to keep in the house. He said it made him instantly depressed. And
Really?
Mhm.
That boy.
Oh my gosh, he's so
he
you.
is me.
London
He's
just said
me.
he's her bestie.
Oh, I mean, I could have told them that.
So cute. Okay,
They
carry
are
on.
so cute. Yes. So I'm gonna figure out what to do with it. I love it. It needs to be in a camp. It's like more of a camp
Mhm.
chair. It's old, and Henry's like, "Mom, we need to get more modern furniture that people actually want to sit in." He's like, "I received that. That's some good feedback." But
so funny.
anyway, all right. For the fifth time,
Okay. Yeah.
we're gonna start from the top.
Yeah. We're 40s.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yes, that is Peter Small.
Yeah. Sometimes me.
Cords,
Yeah, I like
cords,
this.
all
This is
the
good. This is
cords.
good
See,
feedback.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like cords,
Camping,
wires,
hunting, fishing.
camping
Mhm.
gear. What
Yeah.
if we need it?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's everything. That's
Yeah.
But that's our pain. Okay, next one.
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm,
Maybe.
I don't struggle with maybe.
Okay.
yeah. More just in case.
Yeah.
Someday I might
Yes.
need this, want this, use this.
Peter Small.
That's kind of still fits in the just in case for
Sure,
me.
it does. All of this. These are all.
Yeah.
That's what I said. These are like synonyms for just. These
Okay.
are other scenarios that are healthy until they're not.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
We're redoing our
I'm-
shed next to our house,
Mhm.
and Peter is a just in caser, and he actually we're emptying it out to the studs so that we can
Okay. Yeah.
insulate it and get it all ready. And he literally came out and he goes, "Babe, I might be a hoarder. And it was like the clouds parted,
Mm-hmm.
the sun came up, and I was like, really? He's like, I've got a lot of just in case. And I was like,
Oh.
praise the Lord.
Did he ever get to the place where he felt the cathartic feeling of getting rid of those things?
We have taken out, so in Bangor, you can only have one trash can that you have to fill to the top.
That would not work for me.
One?
And yes, and you pop it up.
It's a big one, but
it's
still.
a big one. But
yeah.
we were sneaky, and we have two. And so
we have a
Stuff
pickup
into
truck
your
bed.
neighbors?
no. So we have two. And then the apartment across the street are now all empty except for one, Miss Judy.
Yeah.
And we filled 4 trash.
Did you
big
just go over
bins.
and steal their trash can and then put it out?
Oh, kind of, yeah.
Sorry,
You're
Judy.
welcome. No, Miss Judy, it was her idea.
They love Jesus, but they steal a little.
No, Miss Judy told us to do it.
Okay.
Okay, keep going. So,
Amazing.
so yes, the just in case Peter Small he's broken free.
I will make a graphic
Yeah,
for
that's a good
a
one.
reel of this list since I haven't been able to get through it. But so what did I? Someday I might. What if I
Yes.
need this? What if there isn't any more? But I might need it again.
Yeah.
All synonyms. There's no more like it.
Mm.
That is tough with antiques.
Yeah.
For those of us
Yeah.
who love antiques,
Yeah.
I am one of those people.
Yeah.
Sometimes there really is no more like it.
Yeah.
It was really expensive, or it has a lot of worth,
Yeah.
monetarily.
Mm.
It was free. So the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Same amount of
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah. Right.
Because it was
That'd
such
be
a
more
steal.
Such a steal deal.
Yeah.
Or such a good
steal it,
find.
yeah.
Or I can't believe I found this in the woods. Or I
Yeah,
can't
on the
believe
side
I
of the
found
road.
this in there. Yeah. It's always been there. And I had a lot of people that said that. They were like, I don't know, it's just always been there.
Yeah.
Like, that is not a reason to keep it. That is a reason to think about it, actually. See, there's so many scenarios in every situation, but it was given to me.
That'd be my mommy.
That is a tough one for sentimentals
Mhm.
and for gift givers, for gift receivers.
People passing away.
Yes.
Yes, that was a tough one for
It
me.
is, and we've talked about that.
Yeah, we have.
And we're gonna let it go. It's not
Yeah.
the person.
That's right. I love having lots of these to choose from. This is me when it comes to sweaters, sneakers, handbags, bracelets, craft and knitting supply. So I have points where that's what I say. I like having things to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
I feel worried if I don't have extra.
Yep.
That's a legitimate feeling with a very slippery slope. Okay, we made it through the list, girls.
Good job.
Yeah. Keeping things around just in case is a great proactive thing us humans do. Since the dawn of time, we have kept extra food, dishes, clothes, building supplies, tools, blankets, decor, just in case. But at some point, we became absolutely obsessed with keeping stuff, and it is easier than ever to have much more of everything than we need. We keep extra dishes around for when we have company. We have extra blankets for when friends and family stay over. We buy extra clothes so that we have lots of nice outfits to choose from. We keep mementos from our family members who have passed on because it's one way we can preserve their memory. We buy many, many pantry items to bulk up so we don't ever run out. But what happens when the philosophy of keeping things around just in case upsets the balance of stuff and space? I did not mean for those to rhyme, but they did. So I get extra points.
You do. That's great.
10 points.
10. When the balance has tipped into overflow, I believe it can cause most people a lot of extra stress and anxiety.
Angst.
All the things. If not for the person collecting, then quite possibly for anyone living with them. My neighbor, who I've talked about, is 4th generation in the house where he lives. He was born there. He is in his 80s now. He has everything that has ever come into not only his life, but the life of his father, his father's father, and his father's father's father. That is a lot of stuff. And his house is not cluttered. He has a giant barn and other outbuildings, and they're all filled with stuff. He even has it all organized in 800 million different ways. He considers himself to be a collector.
Is it dusty?
Yeah, everything's. Yes, it's dusty. I don't know how it
Mhm.
would not be. Most of his stuff is in the barn or the basement or the this or that or the other outbuilding or another outbuilding. He considers himself a collector, not a hoarder. I've actually talked to him about this in a joking, light way, and we laugh about it. But I agree that he's a collector. But the only reason 4 generations of stuff is not on top of him right now is because he has a very unusual amount of space to keep it. Most people cannot and should not keep 4 generations of stuff in their life. There is no good reason that I can think of where anyone should do that. I mean, if you live in a castle and, you know, your family has inherited a great estate and everything's intact from the Tudor era, then wonderful for you. But I bet you're not living in that space. I bet you have like a modern house on the property where you're living that's empty, and that's just fun, and you can go in and like look at all the, you know what I mean. There's always another scenario. That's where I go because I'm just like, I actually want that, but I was like, that
sounds miserable to me, but continue.
Right. This is just where my brain goes to, where I'm just like, there's always going to be a reason that someone else is going to say, well, the exception.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
For the most part, we're talking about there's no good reason anyone should do that. His philosophy is that you never know if you might need it. It is in air quotes. It, by the way, is nothing specific and everything at the same time.
It's depression. The depression.
He, age-wise, he was in the 1940s, so past it, but barely. But his family, they lived so simply as farmers, and nothing changed for them.
Yeah.
Nothing changed for them. And so, and by that time, they already owned the farm and everything. Like, they had no... They had no crisis.
Right.
So he's, for him, it's sentiment.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
100% sentiment.
Yeah.
And you never know if you're going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves in his, you know, glitch, if you will, just to stay on topic, is that while it's sentimental, he also just loves having a lot of things to talk about. He loves the collecting of it.
Mhm.
This is how he's actually keeping himself busy and alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
There
again,
must be an amount of power and pride, little p, not capital P. Like, I'm not saying it's a sin, but like there's this amount of like, look at how much my family's accomplished.
The
Look
story
at
of
how
our lives.
look at how much we
Totally.
have. Look at
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you about every hat that has
Yes.
ever been
Yep.
here, and I can
Mhm.
tell you the story behind every
yeah.
da 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 da.
Well, for an old man living alone, and he literally doesn't have a whole lot of people that are left in his life that are close. Like, it is his world.
Mm-hmm.
But for the average person, even his world would have imploded on him
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago, and he wouldn't be able to live in the simplicity that he enjoys in his house, because like, that's just not normal. And so I'm speaking to the not normal. I'm speaking to the normal, actually, like to the
Average Joe.
the average Joe who could never even live like that. On more than one occasion, he has told my children, never throw anything away. You never know when you might need it. And I always crash in, and I'm just like, you do know, and they're not allowed to keep everything, you know, over my dead body, I don't think. So we just kind of...
Two extremes, worlds collide.
Two extremes, worlds collide.
That's awesome.
We love each other dearly. So he thinks
That's
I'm hilarious.
awesome.
I think he's hilarious. All the things.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
so
also
fun.
thinks that everything has its own intrinsic value, no matter what it is. This recently happened. An old worn metal peeler from the 1920s, valuable, displayed on a wall. A new plastic Good Grips peeler from the 2020s, also valuable, also displayed. The thing is, he has about 5 million items in his life, some of which date all the way back to the early 1800s. Some of these things are not only actually valuable, they're priceless,
Mm-hmm.
and they should be in a museum. But he also has about 6,000 trucker hats, absolutely none of which is valuable. Does it bring him joy? Yes. Will someone else have to deal with 6,000
No.
hats when he dies?
Woo! Yep.
That's
Yes.
the thing. Yep. Oh, yep.
So here we go.
Swedish
Personally,
death cleaning.
Personally, I don't think this is good stewardship of space or family love. Leaving mountains of your treasures behind for your loved ones is only a real blessing if you also leave them millions of dollars along with it. Some of which they will
End
have
quote,
to
Rachel
spend.
Anderson.
End quote. Some of which they will have to spend to have all of your treasures properly dispersed.
Yep.
Dispersed is nice. That's the nice way of
That
saying
is
it.
a very kind way of saying it.
It's
As
so
someone,
tricky though, because that is him living his best life. And so I get it though, as far as like his kids, like does he have kids or have
No.
to take care of it?
He has a brother who
Mhm.
is almost as old as he is.
Yeah.
He does have a nephew who is Henry's age,
Yeah.
and he'll end up with probably everything.
Yeah.
as someone who had to clean up after someone's death, and she had minimalized a lot, but she was poor, and so there was really nothing of value. A few things like that I've kept that I'll keep forever, but most of that was from her family. It is wild the amount of work
Yeah.
you are leaving your family.
What's
and
the
this was
death
a
cleaning thing we talk about?
Swedish death cleaning.
Scandinavian. I think Swedish is Scandinavian, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like Scandinavian death cleaning, where it's like the family as you age, sort of in each season as you get older,
That is smart.
you start to and if you're sick or as you're getting old, you're going to start to ask your family, what do you want? And the goal at the end is to not to have a very sparse
I like that.
living situation with
Peter Sloan
everything
started doing it. I'm very
Yeah.
thankful.
with everything that's wanted, already designated and already gifted and given, and just it's an acknowledgement that your life is not going to go on forever.
Right.
That's I think
Yes, that's true.
that's behind this.
Yes, it's true.
That is behind
Yeah.
hoarding, for some in particular, but there's only a certain amount of time, there's only a certain amount of space, there's only a certain amount of sanity,
Yep, that's true.
and there's tipping points for all of it.
Yeah, I do think it also is a maybe or a yeah. You're right, but it's almost like with my grandmother. She had a big house. She downsized to this tiny little 1-bedroom efficiency apartment, kind of like with a galley kitchen. So she did reduce a lot. She left a lot, but even in there, it was this like, if you can consume, you're still living. And so like eat. So her consumption, because she was so poor, was like Dollar Tree stuff and Family Dollar and yard sales, because if you're still consuming,
Sure.
you're still living. And so like I said, when we had to clean her apartment out, very little of it was worth anything. And so it was like we kind of went through and grabbed the things that were worth something to us. Like I have an Avon necklace from the 1970s that she used to wear all the time, and I used to dress up in, and I love it because it's her. But that was one of thousands of necklaces from like, and when I say thousands, I'm not even being facetious.
What did you end up doing with all of those?
We just donated a lot. We donated a ton of things, and like she had like crazy rings. She would wear her we called her Grammy Bling Bling for a reason. So she had costume jewelry,
Yes.
bins, like those like tubs that are like stackable that you pull out the drawers, full of just bracelets. And so we found the nice ones. We found the sterling ones. I gave one to you, Rach. I gave one to each of my girls. I kept a couple for me. My sister kept one. You know, like there was a few things that we were like, okay, this is a piece of her.
A treasure.
A treasure. We can let go of the other stuff. I just this week threw away the necklace of hers or donated it. The necklace of hers that I wore at her funeral. Because I was like, Amber Christine, you were never, it was this giant yellow gaudy necklace, because we all wore my grandmother's jewelry,
That's
even
fun.
my
That's
boys
cute.
at her funeral. And I was like, I'm never gonna wear that again. It was from
It's funny though, the emotional the process that you have to do to get
was
through
2
it. Like even you
years.
talking about it, you're like, I finally.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about art that my boys do. I have a hard time throwing in the garbage something that their little hands made, and especially if I've been keeping it for a long time, or like something that a friend gave me, or my mom, or like something like. And it's for some reason the garbage just doesn't seem like it does any honor to like this thing, but then also there's things where it's like no one ever would want this, ever. On occasion during the winter, I'll sometimes have a little celebration and I'll burn it.
Oh,
like
that's cute.
I'll burn a piece of paper or like something that's like, I really don't want to keep this, but I don't want it to just go into the trash with like
A little
the
funeral.
lemon peels and all
And
that.
the dirty diapers, you know?
Well, it just feels, there's something about burning where it's like it's sending it into the what's
I like that idea.
I don't know. There's certain things that won't burn, but then there's some things.
Have you
A lot
tried?
of things do.
What I would have done, do you see the thing they have now on Instagram? They show it a lot. It's a company, I can't remember the name of it, but they send you a big box, and you fill it with your kids' artwork. Just as they bring home a piece of art from school, you put it in the box. Put it in the box. Put it in the box. You mail it off to the company, and the company ships you back a book.
Oh.
And they scanned it and like I would have done that.
Did they disperse of it after?
Yep. You just get the book back, unless I guess if you ask for it.
My
You know what I mean?
goodness.
But, yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
That takes all the onus off of you.
Well, and you get it. It's just, I mean, it's been, what's the word? They scanned it, but it's a
Yeah.
beautiful hardcover book of all your kids exactly as it, you know what I mean? That's what I would have done if I
love
realized, if
that.
I'd known about that.
Yeah.
I still have most of it.
Yeah.
But it's in literally like totes
Yeah.
with an S.
Yeah. I also found
Yes.
this. I saw people who would take pictures of it.
Yes,
I
same
remember.
thing,
And
yep.
they took a
Mhm.
picture of it and they'd have like
Yeah.
Wiley, age 6.
Yes.
And it was all their art and it's on a Facebook.
Or you could make your own little
Yeah.
snap fish book or whatever.
I have
but-
done that with part of it, but it's usually mixed in the pictures. But I love the idea of just doing all there. Yeah, that
All
would
right,
be it.
carry on, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm happy for the ramblings. I mean, I probably will have to divide this up, but even into parts. But like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to talk about. It's a tough thing, and it's really hard when you're living either with it as you are the hoarder or someone else that you know, or even if you're just a collector that's you can tell you're on a tipping point and that you have to make some changes. It's tough. I love it. I love that it's tough and that people have breakthroughs. So I'm always after like the breakthrough with people because it feels so good to learn to live with less and then realize that life is so much better with space around you instead of stuff. And so anyway, going back to my notes, the price lists, a very typical situation with hoarders, and I would say that's the same with my neighbor, who's a very good example. He's a good example of an organized hoarder.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the
it's still a hoarder.
priceless living side by side actual garbage is a scenario, a very typical scenario for hoarders, and one to keep an eye out for, either for yourself or for your family friend or for a friend, whatever.
Can I ask you a question about him?
Yeah.
What about the technology? Like, does he have every phone that he's ever had? Like, or is it like, because like when you were
so
talking
he
about
has
the
a flip
peeler,
phone.
like the
Yeah.
peeler and then like the Good Grips peeler and how they have the same, like, but I wonder if that's, you
He
know,
has
like
everything that's ever come into his life. So
every
there's literally
telephone,
one
like
of the
the,
pictures I just took because I'm working on a piece of work with him as like a writer and anyway. So a picture that I just took last week when I'd spend some time with him every week. He's just he's an unusual human being, but it had every radio from his life, from his grandparents' life, and on a shelf, and you can go back each decade and see them change.
because that is kind of, it needs to just
So
turn
he
into a
has
museum.
Radios, phones.
Okay, so he does.
Or
So he has
everything
his
is
little
Shoes? Is it like shoes or is this?
So when it comes to clothing, he gets all of his clothing from the dump,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and
that's
or
not
like
valuable to him, I guess. Or
he doesn't care about clothes.
Yeah.
And he wears
Doesn't
them
display them.
until they wear out.
Mm-hmm.
So literally
Kinda like me.
wear out. And then he'll just probably throw them away.
right.
And so clothes are not the same
They
thing.
don't have the
And
same
he does
user
not have a
lazy.
clothing hoard from his family or anything.
He doesn't
has,
collect.
He has one little room that has some of his mom's like fanciest fur coats and things like that.
Aw.
But they're not even wearable. Like someday, no one would be able to wear this ever. They wouldn't even be able to be restored because they haven't been in like a safe, weather-tight space. So, but
Sorry,
that's
I was
just
just
memories.
like so
His
curious.
baby clothes are hung in the room, in a little room, an outbuilding, and they look like they should be in much more kept because like they're literally baby knitted clothes,
my
and they're hung on
goodness.
the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we do a field trip?
It's just wow. I don't know.
Is he pretty private? Like,
He's not. He'd think that it was great if you wanted to meet him. No, he'd probably love it, honestly.
We should do a field trip.
A field trip, yeah.
Not for the whole podcast,
The
but
girls
just
wanna meet
me.
you.
Yeah.
It is like you've never. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to. Aren't you trying to picture
Yeah,
it in your head?
yeah.
I'm like,
I picture like going to a museum. We're
that's
gonna
what
go
I'm
to this
thinking
farm.
of. It's like
Museum,
Colt's
yeah.
Transportation Museum.
Yes, that's what I picture.
That's
exactly.
what I'm- my head.
And now take that, but imagine it on an old farm.
Yeah. I totally picture that, but in an old rambly building.
Old rambly buildings. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Wow is right. Yep.
Hey, carry on. Good. This is good.
Okay. So I'm going to read that again. The priceless living side by side actual garbage is a very typical scenario for hoarders or for people who are becoming hoarders. And it's one to try to keep an eye out for. And I know there are people that listen to this podcast that are hoarders. I know there are people that listen to this podcast that are on a slippery slope to becoming one. And I know that there are people that have family members that are. And so, and it's not like I'm not hammering the gavel. It's like, you're a hoarder.
It's like awareness.
It's an awareness, and there's a chance to pivot and have
Before
it
you cross the
easier.
line. Before you go over.
But even for hoarders, people can turn around. It is hard and it's rare if for a deep, emotionally distraught to turn around. But that's when family members need to step in and help. So, but
That's what I did in my kids' bedrooms this weekend.
yes, as family members or friends, it can be very hard to decipher after a while what is actually going on. Some things should perhaps be rescued, while other things should be whisked away in a hazmat suit as quickly as possible. It is really quite a mystery and one that keeps me pondering. I suppose after a few decades of life, most of us will eventually have some kind of hoard happen under our roof. As I sit here thinking, I know I have some treasures in my attic that would look like garbage to most people, but to me is a collection of memories from the last 17 years of having two boys who love to create. Countless pictures that their little hands have drawn, little creatures made out of toilet paper rolls with googly eyes, their first journals in kindergarten. So I get it. If someone else comes into your space, they don't get it, and if I go into a hoarding space, I don't get it. You don't instantly know somebody's baggage. You don't instantly know someone's story or how they got here or why they collect this particular thing. There's always a story behind it. There's always something. It might not be quite connected or connected by another brain ever, but there is a story. Gosh, we're gonna have to break this up. We're gonna have to break up just in case into a few.
Okay.
This is a lot. Sentiment plays a huge part. We humans are very sentimental.
Would you say it plays the biggest part?
It is the biggest part, but I think that gets broken down further.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the things in the gap. In my last, if you guys are listening and you haven't listened to collecting versus hoarding, or it's officially a hoarder, I talk about the gap in between, a more moderate living scenario, and then when you cross over into keeping too much stuff. But is that where the difficulty often lies? For sure, it often comes down to sentiment. But again, when it comes to our everyday spaces and the way we want to feel in them, we have to be realistic. Sentimentality and quote unquote just in case must, in my opinion, come second if we're going to keep our spaces uncluttered. If you love your space, or if you need it or want it, your life has changed and you need more space, you have to protect it. you have to fight for it even, because stuff is always coming into our lives. Always. I think I'm gonna stop here.
That's so good. That's
I
great.
think I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop here.
Really,
'Cause-
really good.
And then we'll go further and deeper into that, because
Yeah.
it's a lot, and that's a good place to land.
Yeah.
You know, it's hobbies, kids, growing up, growing old, having families, having multiple jobs, living on a farm, living in a city. Life brings things to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, no, please no, or else we're just like yes, and grasping at it. But like life is always going to bring stuff. We have to have a plan for moving forward and knowing what to do with it. And that is something that I take for granted, but that's something a lot of people don't have, is a plan.
I picture this as a beautiful hard-covered coffee table book.
Yeah, it's
Do you
getting
know what I
there.
mean? Like a resource, but it's also beautiful, and people are gonna put it on their coffee table and just sort through it, and then look up and be like, "I hate my house. I gotta do what Rachel says to do." Like, you know, just
Yeah, we're
a
gonna
piece
get
of art.
into-
Yeah.
We're gonna in the future. We're gonna get into next steps, lists of things that you need to get started, both emotional and
Or maybe a book
physical. Series. It's already 35 pages long, so it's only chapter
So
5.
good.
So
Love it.
craziness. Yeah. All right.
All right. Want me to stop this?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That was great,
You have my phone.